Category 1 hurricanes. Dangerous but manageable. Category 1 hurricanes sit at the bottom of the scale, but don't be fooled. With winds ranging from 74 to 95 miles per hour, 119 to 153 km/a. They're already powerful enough to cause major disruptions. These storms can rip shingles from roofs, snap power lines, uproot smaller trees, and knock out electricity across wide areas. Even a short blackout can shut down hospitals, businesses, and transportation, turning everyday life into chaos. Storm surges in Category 1 hurricanes are usually between 4 and 5 feet. While that may not sound like much, it's enough to flood roads, push water into coastal homes, and trap residents. Hurricane Irene in 2011 is a classic example. By the time it made landfall in the U.S., it was only a Category 1, yet it killed dozens of people and caused over $14 billion in damages. Irene's biggest weapon wasn't wind, but flooding, proving that even at this lower category, hurricanes should never be underestimated. Category 1 storms are often the ones that trick people into thinking they're safe. That false sense of security is what makes them dangerous. People stay behind instead of evacuating, only to find themselves trapped when floodwaters rise or when falling trees cut off escape routes. Category 2 hurricanes. Intensifying danger. Now the winds climb to 96, 110 miles per hour, 154 to 177 km/a. And the destruction begins to scale up dramatically. Roofs can be peeled back, siding ripped away, and entire neighborhoods left with gaping holes in their homes. Mobile homes are often destroyed outright. Power outages can spread across entire states and last weeks. But the real nightmare in Category 2 hurricanes is the storm surge, which can reach 6 to 8 feet. Imagine standing on the beach and seeing water rise to the height of a one-story building, then rushing inland with enough force to sweep away cars and small structures. Take Hurricane Frances in 2004. It hit Florida as a Category 2 storm, and while not the strongest hurricane of that year, it lingered for so long that it dumped torrential rain across the state. Millions were left without power, thousands of homes were damaged, and recovery dragged on for months. Category 2 hurricanes often don't make headlines like Category 4 or 5 monsters, but for the people living through them, the destruction is very real. Category 3 hurricanes. The threshold of major hurricanes. Category 3 hurricanes are where the scale crosses into major hurricane territory. Winds of 111 to 129 miles per hour, 178 to 208 km/a. Tear through communities with devastating force. Entire trees are snapped in half, roads become blocked by debris, and buildings without strong foundations are shredded. For coastal areas, storm surges of 9 to 12 feet are enough to flood multiple blocks inland, leaving houses underwater and cars floating down streets. Perhaps the most infamous Category 3 hurricane in U.S. history is Hurricane Katrina in 2005. Though Katrina briefly reached Category 5 strength over the Gulf of Mexico, it struck land in Louisiana as a Category 3. Even so, it overwhelmed levees in New Orleans, leaving 80% of the city flooded. Over 1,800 people died, and damages were estimated at $125 billion. Katrina proved that the difference between categories doesn't always capture the full human impact. Sometimes, geography and infrastructure make even a Category 3 storm catastrophic. Category 3 hurricanes are often remembered as the storms that mark a generation. Survivors tell stories for decades about how their neighborhoods were transformed overnight, homes gone, landmarks erased, and entire communities displaced. Category 4 hurricanes, extreme devastation. At Category 4, hurricanes are nothing short of catastrophic. Winds of 130 to 156 miles per hour, 209 to 251 km/h. Rip roofs off houses, topple high-voltage power poles, and flatten entire forests. Concrete block homes can suffer major structural damage, and many coastal buildings are simply erased. The storm surge, often 13 to 18 feet, is enough to swallow entire towns. A modern example is Hurricane Harvey in 2017, which slammed into Texas as a Category 4. While its winds were destructive, Harvey became infamous for another reason: rainfall. The storm stalled over Houston and dumped more than 50 inches of rain, turning America's fourth largest city into a flooded disaster zone. Entire neighborhoods were underwater, tens of thousands were displaced, and the economic cost once again rivaled Katrina at over $125 billion. Category 4 hurricanes aren't just storms, they're life-changing events. Survivors often find their homes gone, their jobs lost, and their entire communities scattered. It can take years for regions to recover, and in some cases, they never fully do. Category 5 hurricanes, the ultimate monsters. Category 5 hurricanes sit at the top of the scale, with winds of 157 miles per hour, 252 kilometers/8, or higher. At this point, the word damage doesn't quite capture it anymore. Destruction is nearly total. Most buildings are flattened or left uninhabitable, high-rise towers lose glass and structural elements, and roads, bridges, and power systems are wiped out. Storm surges higher than 20 feet completely erase coastal communities. Hurricane Dorian in 2019 is a chilling example. It hit the Bahamas as a Category 5 and then stalled, sitting almost motionless for over 24 hours. Towns like Marsh Harbor were shredded beyond recognition. Whole neighborhoods were reduced to piles of rubble. Tens of thousands were left homeless, and the island nation will likely never fully recover. Another record breaker was Hurricane Irma in 2017, which maintained Category 5 strength for over 72 hours straight, the longest any storm has ever done so in the Atlantic. Wind shredded buildings across the Caribbean, while storm surge and flooding devastated islands that had almost no time to rebuild before the next hurricane season. Category 5 hurricanes are rare, but when they strike, they're remembered for centuries. They're the storms that test the limits of human survival. Could there be a Category 6? The Saffir-Simpson scale officially stops at Category 5, because at that point, the destruction is already classified as catastrophic. But scientists have started to ask, should we add a Category 6? With climate change heating up the oceans, storms have more fuel than ever, and some recent hurricanes have exceeded what the original scale envisioned. Meteorologists suggest that a Category 6 might represent storms with winds of 190 to 200 miles per hour or more. These super hurricanes would be almost impossible to withstand with today's infrastructure. Buildings wouldn't just be damaged, they'd be gone. Entire coastal cities could be wiped off the map in a matter of hours. Thankfully, these storms remain hypothetical for now, but with global warming continuing, the question of whether we'll face a Category 6 hurricane may not stay hypothetical forever. Putting it all into perspective, as the scale advances from Category 1 to Category 5, each step up the scale reflects more than simply stronger winds. It also represents a jump in human misery, economic damage, and long-term recovery. Even a small hurricane can result in the loss of dozens of lives and billions of dollars in damage, while the strongest ones leave nations scarred for generations and have the power to transform them. In reality, there is no such thing as a safe hurricane. Regardless of its classification, every storm warrants preparation and respect. Whether or not people listen warnings, evacuate when ordered to do so, and take the science seriously can frequently make the difference between survival and catastrophe. Hurricanes can be measured using the scale, but it also serves as a reminder of a somber reality. In the end, nature always gets the upper hand.